portion of the show when it goes live on the replay, but we're live right now. We have a great topic to get into, and we're going to be talking about the combination code, but we're also going to talk about a lot of core things related to this channel. So I think this will be good. Did a little fast food today. Don't do that very often, but sometimes it just has to be done. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. So, okay. Wow. I don't even know if I could pronounce that visitor's guide. The first portion. If you can help me, that'd be awesome. Okay. I'm going to get going with the show as part of where I'm going to kind of cut into for the replay folks. But thank you all. Feel free to check in, say hello. I'm going to put in a little say hello here. And we will get into the conversation. All right, welcome everyone to the Creative Marketing Show. I'm your host, Rosh Sillars. This channel is all about digital marketing, not really digital marketing, marketing strategies. That's the best way to put it. Digital strategy is a really core element of this channel. However, there are different parts. There are, of course, the channel building. Hey, we have Jarhead6. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone coming in. I'm starting to notice something here as I kind of cut in that later in the day is a better time to do live streams. When I do it earlier in the day, it's crickets. It's absolutely crickets. So I guess if I want to just do a straight stream without commenting to people, that's the way to do it. So maybe I'll start doing my Monday shows at 4 o'clock on a regular basis. That might be a good idea. Okay, so let me get into it again. So we have our marketing strategies channel. We're channel builders. That's what we do here. We build channels. What's a channel? Well, Instagram channel, a YouTube channel. That's where we are right now. But it could be a Facebook channel, a group. It could be Snapchat, or it could be Pinterest. These are channels, and learning how to build them is really important and powerful when developing your marketing plan. And honestly, there are some common factors throughout all the channels. And we like to talk about those. But the one thing we do know is that there are different algorithm elements for each of those channels. But the core goal of each one of those algorithms is to keep you there. So if you understand that, you're probably going to win the game for the most part. Okay, now we dig into the combination code. Combinations. Nothing is made out of absolutely nothing. I mean, 9 to 10 p.m., good for Jarhead6. Good to know. Nothing is made out of, nothing. You need a combination of things, especially if you want to create something unique and something new to you. So there are a lot of people who find themselves, whether in marketing or developing a business, they find themselves in kind of a commodity situation, meaning there's a million people doing what they do. For example, one of the things that my degree's in, and I have a studio right downstairs in this building, I'm a photographer. And through the years, they've become more and more photographers. So what do you do to separate yourself from the competition? And it doesn't matter what you do. The fact is, people can Google what you do. People can Google what you know. That doesn't necessarily mean they're always going to do it at the level you have done that. But I've often said, hey, you could become a heart surgeon online. I dare say you could probably get all the information that you need here in some way, either on YouTube or online. And dare I say you could find the heart online too. So you may not want to be my patient, but the fact is you could probably get all the basic information on how to do heart surgery. Whether you are skilled enough at it or not, the information's there. And the same is for anything you do or anything, for the most part, you want to share. But you always have your angle. And one of the best ways to develop your position in the marketplace is to combine your core and, again, separate yourself from the competition. Add a strategy. You could add a technology, you could add a style or a design or even a process to what you do that's different. A lot of times we can find ideas within different industries. Sometimes different industries go down a path we hadn't thought of before, and we can explore them. Sometimes just traveling around the country, if you can do that and see what other people are doing. And sometimes that's how people find new opportunities, by saying, wow, there's a new startup or a new retail outlet that is really hot in Dallas, and I'm in, Ohio. Maybe if I brought that here, I can be ahead of the curve. But ultimately, when you want to combine something new, what I did was, say, during the early social media days, I had been using social media and SEO, and I have combined what I had learned with my photography. And I was able to, during the beginning of this whole social media element time, I wasn't, a lot of people want to become the next social media guru. Let me clarify it this way. And I knew I couldn't get to the social media guru status, for example. I knew that there's a lot of cool people doing it great and probably going to do it 10 times better than I was doing it. And so what I decided to do was combine my photography. And when I did that, I was able to actually get myself really on a national scale, a seat at the table. I may not have been at the head of the table, but I had a seat at the table as the photography representative in social media. And since there have been many others who've gone in that world, obviously excellent people who've talked photography and social media, but I was really early to the game with the podcast and everything. And so that was that was really a way to just get myself up onto the national. I kind of look at it as taking an umbrella that's closed and push your way through the crowd. And then when you get up there, open it up. And it works out really well. Hey, Jarhead 6 says he has starting a video podcast with family on their family channel. He's well known for his survival stuff. Great show. I mean, he knows his stuff, and I really actually appreciate. I'm not a big survival guy, but when I like him and I like watching his stuff, and he seems to have common sense about it. So. And so we're talking about the family issues. So combination. Combination. What does combination mean? Combining different things to create something new. So a combination. If you're familiar with Reese's peanut butter cups, a combination of chocolate and peanut butter created a new candy, which was Reese's peanut butter cups, and it's a great combination, and people loved it. You're right on, Jarhead 6. It's good stuff. And I'm looking. Hopefully, your family trail goes really well. That's fun. So, like so many in the industry, yeah. So, when you want to separate yourself, and I'm so sorry I can't pronounce the first part, so I'll just refer to you as visitor guide. and there are many people within the industry. You have to combine something to your core that separates you in a way that people remember you. And so it can be just a little thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Here's another example. And a lot of times I use this in the photography realm. If I was networking at an event, and I told everybody, hey, I'm a photographer. And people say, okay, great. And they're thinking about the photography that they've last seen and so forth, but they don't know much more than that. Now, if I wanted to separate myself from the competition, I could have said, oh, I'm a food photographer. Now they'll remember that. They'll remember that I'm a food photographer a lot easier. And that story of being a food photographer carries on a lot further than just saying a photographer that I can do anything. And so the chances of me getting work were much greater when I did that. Now, if I want to separate myself from combined and focus in a niche, I could say I'm a dessert photographer. And then if I wanted to separate myself from the dessert photographers, I could combine something, a style or something that's different that could separate me. Maybe there is a certain style or a Photoshop technique or certain types of lenses or lighting that I could use that would separate me from the competition. And that would work out really, really well. So what does your combination mean is the follow-up question. And so what is my combination? Just as I was talking about, finding my combination. What is my core talent? And quite often, if you just say your core talent, it's probably something that a lot of other people do. So what can you combine to that talent to separate you? Now, there are a couple things that people like to say that they combine with their core talent, and in that are not good, that are not the right thing. A lot of times people say, well, here's the number one thing that people will say when they want to combine with their core talent. They're going to have the best service. That's what they're going to have. That's going to be the separator. No, everybody has to have the best service. And you can't tell people about it. You have to do it. So service is either done or not done. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, visitor guide. That's great. I appreciate the questions. You have to provide that level of service to a level in which other people will tell people about how good your service is. It's kind of like saying, I'm cool. I'm the coolest bald-headed guy on the internet right now. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? That's absolutely stupid. Other people have to say that. And if they say that, that's cool. It's kind of like me talking about Jarhead 6's channel. Him coming in here telling everybody what a great channel he has you just kind of give him the evil eye. You'd be like, wait, huh? But someone else, a third party, saying something that makes a difference. So service has to be. There's so many people that do what you do. You have to have great service, but you have to find something else. And it can't be the great guarantee or the warranty. It can be a belief like family plus Christianity. Absolutely. So if you have a family channel and you add your belief system, your core beliefs, and your core beliefs are very succinct or connect with a specific group of people, such as other people who want to live a Christian life, for example, which I believe you're talking about. So if you want to live a good Christian life, then that is a combination that could be there. But is there even more than that? Maybe there are a lot of channels with that combination. You have narrowed yourself down, but do you need to separate yourself one step further? And that's where the testing comes in. That's where you keep testing and trying. And even with this channel, starting off with such a big brush and finding my right combinations. Where I am now with the combination is one, marketing strategies channel. I narrowed it down from overall business. That helped me narrow it down. But then I had to combine the concept of channel building and also use what I've talked about for about 7, 8 years now, which is the combination code and how you can combine different elements to separate yourself from the competition. I developed the combination code idea, and I've always wanted a better, whenever you see that little kind of multi-fruit thing on my channels, that's the representation of the combination code. And I've always wanted a better representation. I even think you wanted a better way of presenting it. Combination code, people think of their combination locks or something, but it just seemed to be the best way to present it. And so I've always tried to find something better, but it's always held on. And I developed this while actually speaking across the country, going to different locations on a tour a number of years ago. And I combined actually, let me take a step back. What I did is I started talking to photographers specifically. This was a photography related tour supporting photographers in 2011. And I noticed that the photographers that were coming to me who had these beautiful portfolios and they had worked with all these big magazines and they truly, like, why are you talking to me for one, but they had some real questions like everything's changed. Everything is different now. And I noticed they're purists. They just did this one thing really well, and that's awesome. But everything changed on them. And then I noticed that there are photographers who were photographers and writers, photographers and videographers, photographers and something else. And I started asking, so what is your and? And the people who had an and something else were actually still doing well right after that recession, when, especially in the age of Google and everybody having a camera in their hand. That was a big eye opener, and that's where I started asking, "What is your and then ultimately saying this is kind of like the combination code. It's a combination of things that build who you are, and you are a combination of the people that you surround yourself with. You are a combination of your experiences, and everything that you do is a combination of other things. And all new inventions are standing on the shoulders of other people." And become a combination, taking what they've learned, combined what you created or learned, and that's creativity. That's being creative. All right, let me get back. Okay, my channel has 12,000 views, but 110 subscribers. I'm not that confident in digital world. So can I include that digital world is daydreaming? I mean, I'm not sure about include. Combining like I did the digital world as part of what you do. I mean, using it to your advantage is certainly something that you can do to help target the right people. Don't worry about the number of subscribers. You're talking to somebody who's put up 750 videos and has just tapped 1,000 subs. So you just keep going and you keep learning. YouTube is digital world. Yeah, I keep doing it, but make it part of it. And I guess that takes us to the next step. That's a great visitor guide. That was a great kind of step into the next conversation, is that this is a marketing strategies channel and we build channels. And your best bet is to have a combination of channels. And so you start with one, a core, and that could be YouTube. For some, it's Instagram. Sometimes it's a blog. Maybe you have to have a blog. So maybe you combine as part of your strategy. If you're interested, take a look at my solar system. Put in Sillars. That's my last name, Sillars, and solar system plan, marketing plan. And there's a plan that I create using kind of a solar system look and how you go about it. But combining different types of tactics and strategies is the way to go. And you just don't depend on one thing. So in the digital world, yes, use some digital, but don't forget about what's still working. Maybe there's some things that you need to do related to, maybe it's direct mail, maybe it's networking, word of mouth. I mean, there are a number of things that you combine together to create your perfect marketing plan. And you have to keep testing different things. Right now, sounds like you're testing YouTube. Keep testing it. But if there are other things that seem to be working better, do those. And sometimes it's okay to put things on pause. If you're to a point where, maybe you get up to 500 subscribers and you don't feel that you're getting the return you should be. Maybe this is the wrong platform for what you're trying to do. I don't know. Maybe it's perfect for what you're trying to do. And so maybe Instagram's perfect for what you want to do. A combination of Instagram and blogging. I don't know what the answer is, but that is the way to go, is to keep testing, trying different combinations, and make it work. And you look, the only people who fail are the ones that stop. Now, just because you stop in one area doesn't make you a failure. For example, if you stopped doing a blog because you're finding success on YouTube, well, that doesn't mean your blog failed. It means you made a decision to go where it's all working. And that's really important. So find your combination, test the grounds in different areas, and you'll get there. You will get there. I'm always testing. I'm not where I want to be in all my places. I've had some great success. Twitter has been very good to me. I'm a verified checkmark person on Twitter. I'm very proud of that. I got that through getting book deals and things like that. And that happened through Twitter. Twitter took me a long way, took me around the world, literally. Now I'm trying other areas, again, such as YouTube. And learning and sometimes wondering, what can I do better? No, let me step back on that. I'm always looking for new ways to do this all better, as we all should. It's a never ending process to improve what you're doing. If you feel comfortable, then it's time to shake things up a little bit. Nothing wrong with having things right. You don't have to destroy your world every 6 months, but it's time to keep you on the edge if you want to grow as a person, as a marketer, as a business owner. You have to keep yourself continuously trying to improve what you're doing. So that is the combination code, and the combination code has gotten me far in a lot of areas, and I've watched other people do the same thing. And you will hear, if you keep an ear out, you'll start to hear people talking about, wow, the best thing that worked was a combination of. And you'll hear that in medicine. You'll hear that, science. You'll hear that, in daily life. You'll hear that in a marketing strategy. You will hear that in a business. You will hear the combination that separated the idea or created something brand new. That's just the way you go. And there's so many different ways to go about it. There's so many approaches. So I have found it highly successful. I'll share some of my combinations with you that have also worked. So I started off, obviously, when I was talking about the photography. Today, I do a lot more digital marketing, but I also do a lot of photography. And again, as I mentioned, I combine my podcasting and social media with the photography and called myself New Media Photographer. And I gave myself a name. Creating your own names is quite often a great way of combining. So, for example, if you combine something new, give it your name. Give it your name. It will help. It'll help you brand what you're doing. Doesn't mean everybody's going to call it. No. But if you start to hear that as you start to grow and you say, hey, I've combined this and this, and I'm calling it this, like the combination code or channel building, channel builder, hashtag. That's something I don't see very often. I'm surprised too. But that these are things that we are combining, creating a new term or something that people can remember. And that will really help the branding and help people remember that combination of what you're doing. Let's see. Question is, you're in premium member and any tools? I'm not sure what that means. Do I have any premium things? I have consulting stuff if you're asking about what I do. But if you're talking about YouTube, no, I don't have much of the big tools, like memberships and things like that. I'm certainly not there at this point in time. Just anything that you get when you get over 1,000 subs. I did get a nice gift from YouTube saying, hey, you got 1,000 subs. Like LinkedIn Premier member. No, I'm not actually. Nothing wrong with that. LinkedIn is really going down an incredibly good road with what they're doing. I'm doing more and more video on LinkedIn. They're premium. They really want to get into a customer service management system, a place where you are working there to connect with people. It's certainly, if you like to network on LinkedIn, it's probably worth that membership. I don't necessarily network there. But I certainly do use the platform. It is an excellent platform. So, yeah. Okay. Yep. Got 100 subs. Okay. So that's the deal. So moving forward, I have, other combinations that I've continued to play with. I started playing within my photography. Let me jump into just getting out of the photography. In the digital marketing world, I found that some people had trouble understanding certain things. Or, for example, with search engine optimization, I created what I call a point system that worked really, really well, and I combined that with this is where you combine a process with something that you do. So there are a million SEOs, but I created a process that made sure that my clients got what they were paying for and that my team knew how much work they had to do to help my client. So for example, I wrote some code and I wrote a little website thing for my team, and they could go through and answer a number of questions, and then they would get a point at the bottom, a number at the bottom. So say call it 30. And that was based on how hard it would be based on that client's website and based on the competition. And so put all the information in, you get a point, call it 30. Well, that means that the client would pay for 30 points worth of work each month. And that number could be times a certain number, whatever it may be. That could go up and down depending on the type of company it was. A few companies worked with this, and some companies would go times 20, some would go times 30, some would go times 50, just depending. A number of companies were using this, but that allowed me, one, to know how much I had to charge, because SEO wasn't the same for everyone. It, again, all depends on the competition. And two, I would charge them a certain amount, but then my team knew how much work they had to do. And then I would combine different point activities that would ultimately lead up to 30 points. So if someone wrote a blog post on the website, it'd be worth so many points. If they did something offline, a guest blog post, would be worth another so many points. And so the team would gather up, and at the end of the month, they should have at least 30 points for that client. And that's work. That was a combination. That was a process that I combined some other concepts that were being done in other businesses, and I combined it into the digital marketing SEO world. Let's see. You wanted to know the time. Let's see. I'm trying to read a couple questions here. May I know the time at my? Oh, wants to know what time it is. It is 3:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where we are. Okay. So I am using the tools I am using straight up using YouTube. I am just using the live version of YouTube. I just hit live. I love doing that. I'm not using I have DSLR cameras. I have a bunch of them, but I'm just using my laptop for this. So, and then I have right here, this is a Yeti microphone, and that's it. So that's what I'm doing. Pretty straightforward, just using what YouTube gives us now. I like the ability to schedule into the future. That's pretty cool. And eventually we'll be able to launch our videos, and I'll meet and watch those videos in one event. That's going to be a lot of fun too. But I'll be making some more videos. I'm going to, for those of you who watched through, I'm going to only release a couple videos this week, and it has nothing to do with, you can use your mobile phone, nothing wrong with that. Just get those videos published. That's the key. I'm only going to release 2 or 3 videos, maybe 4 every other day, just as a test. It has nothing to do with how much I'm able to produce. It has more to do with, I have 750 videos. And most of those videos have something that says, hey, watch my most current video. And so if people watch one video and then they go and check my newest video, that actually drives traffic to those videos. And if I can do that for a couple more days, I may actually get more views on each video. Because a lot of times when I have a video launch on Friday, and by Monday when I do this live show, I have a lot of views on some of my newer videos. New a lot for me, that is. So hey, it's Shay. How you doing? Good to see you. You're going to DM me, and okay, I have a question about computers. Yes, you can DM me later today. I think you have my email. Feel free to email me. But if you want to, the Instagram is fine. All right. So that's what I'm going to do with the videos. I think that's going to be an interesting little experiment. Yeah, just DM me, Shay. That's fine. I think I'm going to wrap up the basic conversation here. I think the combination is super powerful. I will be talking about this more. The 3 things that this channel certainly is about: marketing strategies, channel building as a core element of those marketing strategies. Then, of course, the combination code and using the power of the combination code to separate yourself from the competition. Hey, it was great to have everybody in here. Visitor Guy, thank you so much for the questions. And I'm sorry I can't pronounce your the name. It's beyond my reach at this moment. And Shay dropping in, Jarhead6, and of course all of you who've stopped in. Those of you checking out the replay, I do appreciate that too. And wow, this has been good. I think I am going to start recording later in the day. I'm thinking 4 o'clock may be the time that I'll start recording my live show from this point on. And we can talk more about building your channels, separating you from the competition, and strategies and tactics to help you grow your business. It's better for Shay. Done deal. We got it done. We know when we have to go